I for sure will. Let's see. All right. So lights, camera, action. Let's go.
Hey,
Hey, hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Yayo, you already
what's
listening.
happening? I'm
You
in
may as
here.
well speak to the people too.
Hey, everybody, how y'all doing?
Guys, I just want to say welcome back to the Southern Comfort Podcast. I'm your host, Keita King. Every Thursday, we connect, we hook up like we do. I don't know what you guys have, but of course, if you know me, I have some Pinot Grigio because it wouldn't be Thirsty Thursday without it. What you got, Yayo? Okay, what is that, Yayo?
This is that young Hennessy, 1738. Thank you, ma'am.
The Young Hennessy. All right. All
The
right. All
young
right.
Hennessy.
Well, anyways, first of all, I want to say again, welcome and thank you for subscribing. If you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that. Any interviews that you've missed, and you've missed probably some really, really good ones from some of the greats, make sure you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. That is Southern Comfort Podcast, and that's Comfort with a K. You can also follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. Okay, so we are in Yayo. We
Yes,
just
ma'am.
in it right now. Okay, let's just be in it. We in it, and we can do formal
We're in it.
introductions and all that later. We'll do all that
Yeah,
later.
we'll do that. We'll
So
do all that later.
Yayo, okay, so I'm in season two
Okay.
season two, episode 3.
Okay.
All
Gotcha.
right.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so kick this thing off in September actually, and well, I kicked it off like literally moved on it in September. I started with
Okay.
my first interview. My debut interview was with Jeter Jones.
Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and so anyways, so it just kind of progressed from there, and it's like, good Lord, we just got started, which is a good thing, and here
Right.
we are with you on episode 3 season 2, and I'm excited to be here and to learn a lot about you, because there's not a lot about you out there in the world wide web, or in cyberspace, or whatever. So I'm really excited, kind of behind the learning curve on that aspect. So this will be like truly getting to know you. We've never met.
Right. Absolutely. No problem.
And but so I thank you though for being so courteous and so cooperative, and being willing and available. And by the way, y'all, okay, so let me tell you, I know this background. Hold on, yeah, yo, let me say this real quick. I know this background looks a bit different. So I'm actually visiting my daughter. I am at her place, and I have a whole makeshift set up, and it's working for me. And no, I don't have on eyelashes, but I don't wear eyelashes all the time. So what you get today is what you get. At the end of the day, I'm glad to even be here, and especially to visit with them, and to have just an opportunity to have family, just have them around, and of course to be able to figure out all this, because I'm not really a techie person. But hey, she wasn't here on time, and so I ended up making it work. All right, and so here we are. All right, so that's my disclaimer. So this is what I like to say. Yeah, yo, let's get to it. Let's have a
Okay.
conversation,
All right.
and we're gonna have a conversation, and it's just us sitting up here talking, and we're gonna let the people eavesdrop on it. How about that?
I'm with that. I'm
You
with
good with that? Okay, all right. So first of all, like
that.
I said, we've never met. Not a lot that I really know. I don't have anything in the arsenal to come out with. Not that I would do that anyway, but I'm just saying, like, I really want to know in this interview, like, who you are, and I want to take you to the fans. So who are you? Who's Yayo?
uh, uh, that's kind of a unique question because I've probably been in this longer than most. I think this is my 28th year
Okay.
in the business, and
Okay.
actually on this side, I'm originally from Mississippi, a little small town named Goodland, Mississippi.
Yep.
I've done a lot of behind the scene work. I started off as a club promoter, uh, kind of like how Puffy did. I started out in club promoter, then I went to major radio, and then from the major radio, I was always producer. So I produced, created some of the bigger careers, influential behind people like Dave Mack, Jay One, just a lot of people. I was always that behind the scenes guy but I was always writing and producing all these hits for different people, and so I decided to turn the gun around on myself, and self-inflicted hit wound. It just started from there. So like I said, I've been around a while. I like to be, I'm a real intra extrovert. That's a word.
You're gonna have to explain that one to me. Now what?
I'm a, I'm a, I'm an intra extrovert. I'm a kind of person. I'm always introverted. I'm quiet for the most part. But when it comes time for me to be out, mixing and mingle, getting with the friends, because I don't have fans, I have only friends and family. So when it's time for me to get out with the family, we turn up. I am a Yayo Maximus when it comes to that. So that's kind of who I am. So I'm
you're a
two
yeah,
people.
what was that?
I'm a Yayo Maximus. It's Yayo to the max.
Yayo to the max. Okay. All right.
Right.
All right. And so, and your real name is Chris, right?
It is. It is.
Okay. All right. So,
Mm-hmm.
so how did you come up with Yayo? Where did that come from?
Oh man, back when I was junior high, I used to like to be really fly. I was one of them guys that always took the time to dress up, regardless, walking through the hall looking good, smelling good. And some friends of mine, we were around, and that's around the time when the movie Scarface first came out. And
Okay.
weird thing, in that
Now
iconic
don't
scene
date.
with
Look, Yayo, don't date us.
I don't care if you don't know what I am by now. Hey, it is what it is. But we're sitting around watching Scarface, and he said, I got the money and I got the yayo. And that word just stuck. One of my friends said, "Ooh, you yayo, you that thing." So it just stuck with me. So it's been with me forever.
That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah,
So the majority of your time has been spent kind of behind the scenes, right?
yeah. Hmm.
And then you decided that you were gonna go ahead and be in the forefront. What was the deciding factor? Like, what made you say, "Okay, now it's time"?
There was a lot of different factors. A lot of factors was in this particular art form. When you're talking about Southern Soul Blues, the majority of the money is in the upfront, is in the shows, it's in those things like that. Producers, it's not a lot of back end, it's not a lot of writing royalties. It's getting better now, but just the things that I was doing,
Uh-huh.
you write a hit for somebody, they don't want to see the producer, they want to see the artist. So that's where the majority of the money was. So that was one key factor. And just, you know, everybody that kind of does something, every water boy wants to be a quarterback. It just
You
happens
think
like that.
so?
So,
You think so?
yeah, yeah. Everybody wants to excel. Everybody kind of wants to have their, seven circuits around the sun. So it was just like I was really reluctant, but I had a lot of people around me that were like, "Man, look, you're doing this. You can do it." Because when I'm in the studio, I'm a beast. I'm teaching the parts. I'm writing the songs. I'm, you know, doing the background songs. I'm doing all this stuff, producing the actual tracks. So like
Right.
you're doing everything. Why not put your name on it and it start happening like that?
So, but what about the singing part? Like, so when you were doing the producing and all, what were you singing at that time, or did the singing come along later? Like, what made you hit the stage as Big Yayo and I'm gonna do some freaky, like
Well, how it kind of works when you're producing, I'm not a beat maker. There's a lot of people they're beat makers. They sit in, they have this long list of track lists. Oh, I got 1,000 beats on my hard drive. I'm not that. I'm a producer. I'm a real producer. So when an artist comes in the studio, uh, if they don't have the concept, I set the stage for everything. So a lot of times I'm singing the parts to them. Okay, let's sing A, B, C, D. So I'm actually doing the work. It's just their voices for the most part. So from that, you know, I was like, well, I am actually doing these records. It's just the record is for you, as a
Mhm.
lot of producers. A lot of people are beat makers, but
Okay.
I'm not a beat maker. So producers set the stage, create the atmosphere to get the best out of the artist. So I was already, I guess, singing it, but I never had any aspirations of being a singer. But I was always doing it through the production channels.
So I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what made you decide I'm gonna sing it? I do it, but I'm gonna actually be in a forefront artist and sing it and go with it. And apparently, it's worked out well for you. So what what I'm saying? Like,
I was doing a song. The crazy thing about it, my first big hit was a song called Cowgirl. and I was actually just kind of demoing some songs.
That's
And
with
at that
J1,
time,
right?
yeah, right,
Yeah. Okay.
Cowgirl with J1. So I was
Hmm.
just kind of like demoing some tracks and stuff. And young lady was with me, T Baby. She's doing the Cowgirl Baby on that song, and I was in there doing it, and I came up with the concept of it, and the hook and everything. And at the time, me and Warren, I was actually J1's manager at the time. And he was like, man, this is a really good song. You should do this song. Because I had kind of demoed it. And he kind of encouraged me to put it out,
Yeah.
because it was just a demo song. So I was telling him at the time, we were like, well, he was doing a lot of melodic stuff, laid back. I got this record type stuff, and need a grown woman type stuff. I said,
Hmm.
well, I tell you what, I'll do this record if you get on the record, because he was looking for a faster record to do, and I was just trying to do my initial record. So that kind of how it all came to be, and was really on a like just throwing some ideas up against the wall, but it really, really stuck. Even the vamp in the song, the baby, 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 that he does on the song, we were really goofing around, and we were like, oh, we ain't gonna put that. I'm like, no, we're gonna keep that in the song and watch how significant it makes that song. But that's that producer in me. So it was really just something that was done between, a group of people just messing around, and it stuck. So once it stuck, then I'm like, okay, well then maybe something can come from it. So that's kind of what started the whole Yayo thing.
So, what gives you the biggest thrill? The sitting back as the producer, hearing like, "Ooh, yeah, that's it," or actually being a piece to the puzzle in the production. Which one gives you the biggest thrill?
Are you saying from being an artist singing, or from the production standpoint?
Hmm. Yep.
The production standpoint, because you can kind of infuse yourself in every little nuance of that situation. You know what I'm saying? That's the creative. I'm a creative. That's what I do. Like I say, so that gives me the most enjoyment, just kind of putting the pieces together.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that on several different levels because I feel like that's how I am too. Like it's like I can sit here. I'm not I mean I can carry a tune, but like I'm not a I'm not a singer. But I know when I hear something and it don't sound right, or
Right,
when there's something that I know will enhance, not necessarily singing. It could be something on I'm a radio head, so it could be something I hear on the air, and I'm like, "Ooh, that was good, but it could have been greater. They could have said, or they could have did, or it could have dropped." You know what I'm saying? So I get that part.
right.
I get that. So how are you in regard to like working with new artists? Where are you with that? Like, how how do you feel about I don't want to load this question up, so I'm going to ask you one question. How do you feel about working with new artists, especially given the direction that Southern Soul can go any direction, to be honest with you?
Right.
So how do you feel about that?
Well, that's actually my strong point. Every artist I've worked with, well, I'll say, let me preface that.
Okay.
That's what I do. My initial aspiration was to be an A&R for major record labels. So
Okay.
as an A&R, you take nothing and make it something. So that's my biggest thing. So as when I got into production, my biggest thing was to take, not necessarily clear that they have the talent, but just people that may not have the name recognition things, the relationships, and taking that from step A to step 10. So
Hmm.
that's my strong point. So for a lot of people, oh, I don't like working with new artists, this and that, and other. But that's what I strive in. I'm bro rabbit in the briar patch when I'm working with a new artist, because a lot of times it's they're easier to direct. They haven't started getting focused on what this is my sound. And as a producer, especially as a real producer, I keep emphasizing that because a lot of people are beat makers. I want to be clear about that. But as a real producer, it's your job to create the atmosphere. Because if you're coming to get a yayo type of situation, you're coming to me for a reason. You're coming to me because of the success rate, because of what I do and all that. So you have to allow me to do what I do. Because you don't go to Michael Jackson to sound like Prince. You go to what you go to for whatever you're looking for. So when you come to me, it's kind of like I'm real particular. I'm a collaborator, but I'm particular because I kind of see through the music. I always see through success. Everything I do, I know it's going to, not everything I do, but I understand what it takes to get a step ahead or that next step. I don't produce uh, in abundance. I don't sit around with a bunch of tracks. I'm more of a designer type person. I have to talk to you, study you. Our conversation may go on a couple of weeks just to see who you are. Then let me get you a hit because I'm a sniper.
Before you decide to, sorry to cut you off, I just want
Mhm.
to clarify. So before you decide, like, okay, I'm gonna put my time, my energy toward this, you need to make sure that you know the meat of the person, for lack of a better term. You need to know, like, okay, this is what your heart desires. This is what you're trying to get out. Like, okay, all right. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
I was, yeah, I'm on the same page with you. Okay, all right. So, again, to clarify, so a beat maker really just make beats, like,
In my opinion. Now, what I
okay,
say is not gospel, but beat makers just make beats
they
because you
make
can ask
beats.
them what they make beats, and it's nothing wrong with that. People need beats.
Nothing
You
at
you may
all.
not need a producer. You may not need somebody to you know put it together for you. You may have that and just not make beats. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You may be a producer in your own right, but just not be instrumental inclined. But see, with what I do is 360.
So you cover every part of a track, period. And I know the song, the production you did with West Love. Let's talk about that. What is the
Okay.
name of that song? Hold on. Oh hell, you can tell me.
Uh,
Put it on me. Don't worry about it.
what? Put it on. Right there, you go.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So what role did you play in that? Because that song has been colossal. It's been huge for her, really really big for her. And I just want to have a point of reference for people who are tuning in. And again, thank you for tuning in. We'll go to the comments in just a second, but like that's been a very big record for her. Just to put it into to where people couldn't really understand it. What part did you play in that? Because I know you played about a part.
Yeah, it was all the music. What you hear musically is all me,
Okay.
uh, 100%. The thing about that, it was a collaborative because with me and Omar, shout out to Omar Cunningham. It's just that's kind of we trust each other for things like that. Omar is a hell of a writer, uh, one of the best that we've ever seen, and he trusts me because the way it came up, he was like, hey man, I want to do a record for this lady West Love, and at the time
Mhm.
I wasn't familiar with her, and so I did my due diligence. Like I say, I go and listen. I see what she was doing, her mannerisms.
Right.
That beat is a mannerism type of thing. You can,
It's a it's a whole mood. It's a whole energy.
yeah, it's a whole
And
vibe.
I feel like, I kind of came behind the learning curve on West Love as well. But having listened to that song, I feel like she embodies everything that is a part of that song,
Yeah,
from I
absolutely.
mean, from top to bottom. Yeah.
And I had no relationship with Wes. I didn't know her or
Okay.
anything. But with me being the kind of producer I am, I do my due diligence. I go and listen. I saw her with the Ricky
As you
Smiley
should.
Stardome stuff, and I said, okay, well, she doesn't need this type of Rick. She really needs, she needs something that she can, because that's how she is. She wraps herself into her stuff. She
Yeah.
embodies what she does. So I
Yeah.
was like, let me take her mid 50s. You know what I'm saying? Let me take her in voguish because she's got the vocals, and I just made it really simple because I wanted to highlight what I knew Omar would do vocally on it. I just wanted to give it a really simple groove with a big feel, but nothing is all over the place doing too much. It just
Hmm.
sits there. It just sits there and rides. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of changes, big turnarounds and stuff. So that's how that record came to be.
So how often is it that I know you collaborate with Omar, and we know he writes, and he's written so many things that, and I didn't even know until he and I actually touched base, and I was like, oh, okay, you've written like quite a lot of stuff that I listened to, but didn't know it was him. You guys collaborate obviously on a lot of things. Like, what's that chemistry like? Like, um, there are people who do things that I do, but I don't necessarily gel with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect what they do, they respect what I do. Like, what is it that allows you to say, Oh, Omar got the hook. He not the hook, but he got the lyrics. And I got like what? How does that come together? What's the glue?
Well, the glue is when we talk, we don't talk about music. We just talk. We have a
Okay.
friendship.
Okay. Good answer.
You know,
Yes, I like that. Okay.
we have a friendship. So when it
Gotcha.
comes to, we've talked about this. Just imagine you and your best friend. You know, you guys are talking about. You know, you talk to her every day or him every day, whatever it should be. So when it's time to activate, when it's time to say, now let's go out tonight, you know what she's going to do. You know how her dress game is going to be, her makeup game is going to be, her conversation in the club. You
Right
know
on.
that.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. That's why she's your best friend because she complements what you do. So with me and Omar, we just talk about everything. You know, we both are up early birds with most people, especially musicians, when they stay a lot late in the evening in studios. They're not early birds, but we are. So 6:30, 7 o'clock, we may be on the phone just talking about, man, did you see this on the news? Oh, what about this? So when it comes time to activate, hey, I need this. Okay, boom. I know what you got. I know what you
Okay.
got. You know,
Gotcha.
it was the same thing with the Pokey record, the exact same thing. So,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, what do we have to look forward to in regard to Big Yayo? Not just the producer. I'm talking about the artist as well, the singer, the person who hits the stage. What do we have to look forward to?
I'm working on a couple projects. I'm working on a project for an artist called Trail Boss. That's going to be unique.
You
So,
said the name. Okay, so what's the name?
Trail Boss.
Okay,
So,
that's the
look
name of
out for
the
that.
artist or the project.
That's that's the name of the artist and the project.
Well, you need we gotta talk about that. Go ahead. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
It's kind of something that's really under wraps because it's going to be so unique. So we could talk a little bit about it, but it's the artist Trail Balls with the project called Trail Balls. Uh, it's going to be true to what we do in Southern Soul, but it's also going to be true to um, what we do in the trail rider community. Because I'm a big participant. I actually live that lifestyle. I'm a part of that culture. So I'm just not making songs and showing up for shows. I live that life. I'm from the four wheelers to the big trucks to the mud gear to the everything. So I'm really involved in
I
that.
saw that on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. That's hey, I'm a country boy from Mississippi. I can't be, come on.
So, okay, so
Really?
basically, it's gonna fall under the Southern Soul umbrella, but it'll
Yeah.
be a little more tailored to trail
It'll be
ride.
a little bit it'll be a little bit more tailored to trail ride and that whole environment. And people don't really realize until you get out there. And I mean, from the trail rides to the mud ride, because it's different uh, uh, factors of it. It's all under one umbrella. So it's really, really party music. It's the stuff because if you ever gone to a trail ride, they dance from the beginning to the end. So, we're not out there crying in our beer, talking about my dead horse. It's none of that. It's actual stuff
Right.
that's gonna make it's gonna make people move around. So it's gonna be a little bit more concentrated. And the stuff from Yayo is gonna be a little bit more of what Yayo does, kind of the countrified uh Southern soul, electric cowboy type stuff. Because I use synthesized sound, and I use just anything. I'm a
I was
big.
gonna get to that. I was gonna get to that because I noticed that too. So okay, so like you said, it's a whole lifestyle,
Mhm.
a subculture, if you will, to
Right.
with the whole money thing. Even if you're not necessarily out line dancing and partying, you at your campsite,
Hmm.
you want to be, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to be turned up with your people, and it's a whole thing. I totally.
Yeah.
Let me pause for a second and go to the comments because this is my not my strong suit. I forget to see what the people say. So let me see. Okay, so Omar, your boy is on.
There he is. See, I
Um,
told you. That's what
I
friends do.
see.
That's what
I
friends
see
do.
now. I see. All right. So we got Lee with the sunglasses on. Okay. So thank you for joining, Lee. Let's see. Breeze. Actually, he's gonna be on the show this season. He's a new. I don't want to call him a newcomer, but he is one of the newer artists compared to people I've interviewed or whatever. He's gonna be on.
Watch out for me and Breeze. I just got a record from Breeze that I'm doing a feature for him on Breeze. I'm Shad Breeze. What's up, baby?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good, good, good. He is on Big Mel's Trail Ride Certified. He's also on Jeter Jones, or maybe no, he Jeter's on his song. What is it? Don't play with it. Don't play with it. So, anyways, but yeah, be on the lookout for him. He is coming not next Thursday, but the next Thursday. That's Breeze, Mr. Do Too Much.
Mister
Let's
Do Too
see.
Much.
Kara, Big Yayo. She said she got her boots on.
Hey, you better keep them on. You know what it is. Show up in uniform, young lady. You know what we do. You know what we do.
Hey, Kathy Roberts. She said, hey, Keita, Big Yayo. Oh, hold on. I thought I saw. Let me see. There he is. What it do, Magic One?
My guy.
Listen.
That's another guy. That's another guy that
Let's
we
talk
just
about.
talk. We talk. Me and Magic, we don't talk about music. We talk. You know, when we get something, you know, be on the lookout for the new Big Yayo and Magic One. But he's another guy that's a real genuine guy. In my opinion, he's one of the best vocalists that has come along in any genre for several years.
Look, yes.
Yes. That's all you can say.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yes. Let's argue. Yes.
No, ain't no
yes.
It is what it is. Like, and I know he's looking right now. I'm not gonna put him on the spot, but like we talked today. Like a genuine good person.
Yep. And that's what this is about. That's what
it should. That's what it should be about.
That's what it's about. Anything different than that is not about this.
I feel you.
Let's be clear. That's what this is about.
I like that answer. My mom is tuned in. Hey, mama.
Hey, mama.
Let's see. We got good evening, everyone. Salute from Kyra Boo. Salute to you. And if I did not get to you, I'm so sorry, but we're gonna have to go ahead and move on. So Omar. Yayo, I guess y'all wanting the same now in my head.
I guess.
What do you see in the future in regard to your collaborations? Not just with like Omar, because I get
right.
that. But what do you see in your future with the project and the artists you just talked about, and just where you see Southern Soul going? Because honestly, I think it goes without saying, it's going. It's going. So what do you see? What's your role?
Well, let me answer the first part of that question as far as where I see it going.
Was that a little question, Yayo?
Hey,
I'm sorry.
You got a load to shoot it.
Podcasting. I'm trying to get it down. I'm a radio chick, so I'm sorry. So that was a two-part question.
It was a two-part question. One was where do I see it going, and what is my role?
Okay.
Where I see it going, let's be clear, and I want everybody on here to understand. This is the next big thing. Everything else has been discovered. When you talk about, you got to think about things that have been discovered. Look at hip hop. It didn't exist. It was discovered. You look at alternative music, when you talk about stuff like Nirvana, that grunge rock, it wasn't discovered. You know what I'm saying? When you look at even a derivative of what country is doing, look at the new country, the Florida Georgia Line guys. These guys are putting all these 808 rap tracks. You know, they saw what Nelly did with oh my God, I was just talking about Faith Hill's husband, how big that record was. Everything else has been discovered. Everything, every genre, every way you can twist it. But Southern Soul is a whole embodiment. We've got the fan base. Now that the internet has become the universal equalizer, you can actually, I don't have to go to a record company to show me that I'm doing numbers. I can see numbers on YouTube. I can see numbers on Facebook. I can see numbers on TikTok. You know, so we don't need that. And Southern Soul is the last thing that the mainstream doesn't have their hooks in. So I encourage everybody with what you're doing, etch out your little piece of real estate because it's going to be very, very valuable in the very near future. So that's where it's going. It's going to be the thing. When they really wrap their arms around Southern Soul, it's going to be bigger than hip hop simply because it's non-offensive music for the most part. It's something. One thing about like even in my direct household, my mom, she's very, very spiritual, and she really didn't do secular music till I introduced her to this, and this ain't that bad because the
It's
grooves, the
safe.
subject matter. Say again.
It's safe.
It's safe.
It's safe.
And throughout, look at what we've gone through. We've gone through everything, the pandemic. We've been in a rough place as a world. We've been in a rough place. Now people want to get back outside. They want to get back out and party. They don't necessarily latch on to the gangster stuff anymore, the killing and this. They want something that they can relax to. And with Southern Soul, it has the best demographics of anything. Literally from 8 to 80. The same thing your little niece is listening to, your grandmama can in Southern Soul.
See, the niece is doing the line dance on TikTok. She's doing a whole line dance, and 80 is just feeling it and reminiscing and
She's feeling it.
yes.
You see what I'm saying? No other music other than maybe country has that demographic, has that shelf life. I always tell anybody in Southern Soul, all you need is one ticket to the ball. One certified hit will get you a lifetime of work. Will get you a life. Look at, it's just what it is. So with all of that,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Because I want to hear what you were going at.
If you could give me an example of that.
Not necessarily an example of that per se, but look, name me one other Lenny Williams song, and that's my buddy. But that one record has almost sustained a 50-year career.
You're right.
So he has other records. I'm not saying that you won't have other records, but you only need an initial ticket to the ball. Once you get that initial ticket, you can always work that. That audience is always going to be with it. Our shelf life is just through the roof. It's through the roof. You look at rap. The last rap song was only 3 months old, and then now you forgot about that. It's on to the next. So we're in the best place in the world.
I feel like, I agree with you 100%. I feel like, with anything, I don't care what genre it is, it has to be evergreen. It has to be like evergreen lyrics is you know what I'm saying? Like something that you can pull out of, you can dig deep, deep, deep in the crates and pull it out. Mm-hmm. And this whole place turn up because it is an evergreen song. Okay, so yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And even if it's not as deep a song as necessarily an evergreen based situation, Electric Slide will be around here for forever.
You hear me?
It's a fun. You get what I'm saying? It's a fun, not a lot of thought into it. It's just a light, fun song. So it doesn't always have to be so serious. It doesn't always have to be so eclectic, but it just has to resonate with the audience you're talking about, and that's what happens.
I feel like that's what evergreen is. Like I can put my great grandmother. We just did a whole TikTok. My great grandmother can feel it. My mom can feel it. I can feel it. My mom, my daughter can feel it. And at the end of the day, it has the same outcome. It moves us. It makes us feel good. It brings us together in some aspects, and it makes us happy, or whatever.
It does. Okay. It just makes you feel good. There will be somebody putting on their boots for forever, and I happen to embody a song that's talking about that. I'm gonna keep my boots on. It's a simple song. It's not a whole lot of production, but it just resonated. It touched that whatever that thing was with people.
Well, we're gonna talk about that, the boot song.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Are you familiar with Plead the Fifth, which is like the very last part of the show that I do? And basically, I'll ask you some questions. They won't be based on the serious questions we just talked about. A little risque, probably, some shenanigans. But you don't have to answer. You can plead the fifth, which is my goal to get you to
plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth. All right.
I'm always with that smoke, though.
Ready? Huh?
I'm always with that smoke. Let's go.
You with the shenanigans. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so it's the holidays. Happy holidays, yayo. So are you on the nice list or the naughty list?
Naughty,
You're in plead the fifth. You what?
naughty, naughty.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything bad. I just stayed lurking around that naughty place. So my naughty is
What
not
does that
bad.
look like?
What does it look like?
I may want to be on the well, I try to stay on the nice,
Trust,
to be
trust.
honest.
And the nice is I'm a nice guy, a very nice guy. Anybody knows it. They call me the nice guy of Southern Soul.
Okay.
But around the holidays, I'm a naughty guy around the house. So that's why I stay on the naughty list.
So is it because of what you do or what because of what you don't do? Now this ain't on the list, but you plead the fifth.
Uh, I'm gonna plead the fifth because I don't want to tell you because it might be a little bit too risque for
Okay,
this
okay.
program.
Here we go. All right, so here's the thing. You pled the fifth. I don't have
Okay,
to ask you any more questions, but I really want to ask you one more
I
because
want
that's
you to
the
ask me
whole
another
goal.
question.
And huh?
I want you to ask me another one.
I'm gonna ask you another one. Now look
Come
here.
on.
You and Yayo collaborated. I mean, you and Yayo. You and let her out. You let her out. You and
Omar,
Omar collaborated on Boots On,
right?
and the lyric literally says, "I want to do something freaky." Y'all know the lyrics. I want to do some freaky tonight. Okay, and with your boots on. And I just want to know, is that really a thing? Were y'all just really like singing about something, or like is that a whole thing? Like, would you really tell your girl, put your boots on, we'll go do something freaky tonight? It sounds
That's a
dangerous.
thing. That's a thing. I'm from the South, baby. Everybody wears boots more than they wear anything else. And being freaky ain't always in a controlled atmosphere. It's not always in the bed. Sometimes you may get the urge when you're riding down a dirt country road and hitting a turn road.
Or at the
So,
girl ride. Or at
so sometimes you don't have the luxury of completely disrobing. So, am I
I
painting the right picture? Am I painting
honestly.
the right picture?
No, you are. You got it. Yeah. Yeah, because I really, I've listened to the song and heard it because Godfather used to play it like a lot on the weekends.
Yeah,
And I would listen, and I'm just like, I like the song. But I was just like, now would you really? So have you did it with your boots on?
absolutely. I do it my books on more times than not. What? Yes, ma'am.
Well, that is the plead the fifth, you guys.
Oh, yes, Lord.
Okay, so let me tell you this real quick, and we're gonna get out of here. I asked Omar. I also asked Magic too. I was like, okay, so would you rather be ridiculed for making a bad song, or have your sex tape leaked? And the two of them said two different things. So let me see what you gonna say. Break the
Sex
tie.
tape. I'd rather have my sex tape leak.
Okay, why?
I'm proud of it.
Okay, all right, all right. We'll say less. Say less.
Hey,
What would you name it though? What would you call it? What would be the name of it?
what would I
Don't say
call it?
Daniel.
No, I'm not no. I would probably call it Slab Rider.
Slab Rider. Well,
Hmm.
Slab Rider. Okay.
Or, or my second name would be Dirt, Dirt Diggler. Dirt Diggler.
That sounds like a whole porn star name. That's a whole. And on that note, you know what, yeah, yo, I'm not about to play with you.
Hey,
But you
I bet
know
all
what?
that smoke.
I'm
I'm
proud
with
though.
this
At the end of
smoke.
the day, I did get you to plead the fifth because you said it would be risque. Now that extra y'all got, that extra bonus y'all got, that's just because I'm just being me. At the end of the day, man, look, I appreciate you so much for coming on the podcast. I would like to talk to you more about your new what you got going on. like your new artists and so on and so forth. And by the way, if any of you are tuned in, I'm sure you guys heard Magic One, you heard Omar. If you may have heard some of the people in prior to, you heard Yayo. And if you are a new artist and you want to be like, get your stuff out there, get it heard, see what the people feel, see if it makes the people move, see if they like it, see if they don't like it. By all means, make sure that you are tuned in to the Southern Comfort podcast. I have a promotion going on, kicking off January 1. Hey, new year, new music, new artists. Let's get it. You heard him say right here, Yayo was like, it's changing and it's morphing into something. I feel like something great that just has a few more tentacles. We're just trying to map that part out, and at the end of the day, Southern Soul is. I feel like it embodies so much in regard to me, because when I was growing up, it wasn't no Southern Soul, Yayo. It was blues.
Yeah,
Period. It was
yeah,
blues, and so it's rooted in that for me.
yeah.
For
It
me,
is. That's what it is.
maybe not everybody else, but yeah, for definite, for sure, make sure that you follow the podcast. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that. And it is Comfort with a K, because my name starts with a K, and I can do that if I want to. I thank you guys for joining so much. Okay, so Yayo,
Yes.
I am going to be in touch with you. uh
Please
this,
do.
you were the easiest plead the fifth, because it did not take a long time, and you were so raw and uncut, to where even though you played the fifth, I was like, no, I need to know more. Like I need the people, I need the
Hey,
people to know more. Nonetheless, thank you so much. Tell the people how they can find you as well.
easiest place to do is go to www.thebigyayo. Everything is there. All my social media sites are there. We do debut new music there. We do a email list. If you have not joined the email list, because we have a merch manufacturing company in house, so we
Hmm.
just mail stuff out to different people.
Okay.
Sporadically based on the email list. So go to www.thebigyayo.com. Everything is there. Join the mailing list and just holler at me. I'm not hard to find. I'm very, very interactive. That's my claim to fame. I am very, very reachable. I am very, very open, as you can see. So,
Clearly.
clearly that.
Clearly.
Clearly that.
What you call it? Country Ken.
Country King. That is what I am
Country
calling on. Everybody's my Country King. And people always ask me about that. Why do you say that? Can I do a quick explanation real quick and
Oh,
make it
by
make
all
sense?
means, yes. Go ahead. I'm listening.
This is my thing. Think of any family gathering. So you got the hierarchies. You got the moms, the dads, the grandmamas, the this and that. But
Right.
the closest people at any gathering, family gathering, are the cousins, right? The cousins are always the one to get in the devilment with each other.
Yeah,
You
they're
gotta
the ones
say,
who walk off and go smoke together.
there you go. So that's what country kin is. We are all cousins. It's not a hierarchy. Like I said earlier, I don't have fans, I have family. So we are all cousins. So we
I
share
got
the same thing. We get into the same dirt. We listen to the same thing. We do everything the same. So when you hear country kin, just know there's not a hierarchy, no big me, little U's. It's all one thing. We're
we
all
all
kinfolk.
we all equal, and we all loving on each other just as hard as
The
the next.
exact same way. That's what you're looking for when you go to the family reunion, right? Your cousin. You're looking for your aunties, right?
I'm looking for
Exactly.
my favorite cousins, because I know they with all the shenanigans.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I
So
got you.
that's what it is. So it makes sense, right? That
All
makes sense,
right.
right?
Yes. So
That's what
from
it
now
is.
on, when you guys see him and he posts and he say, "Good morning, country kid," say it back. Then y'all say it back. Say
Say
it
it
back.
back. Say it back, kid. Oh, say that.
All right, Yayo. I will be in touch with you really, really, really soon. Thank you so much for your
I appreciate
contribution,
that. I
of
love
course,
you.
to Southern
Thank you so
Soul.
much for having
And
me
thank
on
you
here.
for this interview. It has been very enlightening and very fun, to say to say the least. And I'll be in touch with you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Highlights coming soon. Bye, Yayo.
See y'all. Thank y'all so much.